Hello. Hello, everyone. I hope the quality is fine. Mic should be working. I hope it doesn't make any weird noises. That would be not that great. Anyway, we are pulling MUALANI today. I think I will wait until more viewers are here to watch me because it's just one pull. I have 34 pulls saved, but I don't think I will do a 10 pull. Yeah, the rest will go into my Yelan funds because I just really like Yelan. I have Aqua, I have a skin. I need C2. And who knows? Maybe I will get C6 one day. I mean, she would be one of the characters I would love to C6, but yeah, I would rather C6 Farina, obviously, than C6 Yelan, even though I'm not sure. Maybe I actually don't know which one I would rather C6. I guess if you all had the choice, that's an interesting question. If you all had the choice to C6 any character, which one would you take? I think I think I used to say Emily, but low-key, it's probably someone else now. I already have C6 Cloran, so I can choose her. I think it would be Chiori. Chiori, maybe? Or like a C6 Versa or C6 Chaska really sounds fun. Skirk C6, not really, because I don't like baseline Skirk. Hello, hello! Oh, people are here. The hair is so good. True. Oh, Butterfur is here. Hello, Butterfur. I think the chat still doesn't work. I don't know how to make the chat work like that. It's a thing that's like over the screen. I'm too incompetent to make that work. Versa or Chaska, very good. Very good choice. Wait, we literally twinned. I also thought that. But yeah, I think the older C6s are barely like a big deal. Like they don't really do anything. Sadly. 3 hours until I get Chaska Sisu. I reckon it will reduce her top half time by half, not gonna lie. You are time maxing, you're speedrun maxing. Wait, no, it's Stygian. Is it for Stygian? On top half. You mean Abyss? Constellations keep getting better, yeah. Although I think some people kind of overrate some. Actually, it's not that many. Because most of them are really insane, but I think some of the Fontaine ones are like really strong as well. Like specifically Arlecchino. Arlecchino, C2 and C0 are like two different characters. I meant the AoE Abyss top. Oh, okay. Why would you run her in the AoE though? Oh wait, it's an AoE hit. True, I forgot about that. Okay, anyway, I will just pull it. Cons kind of stopped getting better since Fontaine. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Arlan Cloran cons are good as any. Yeah, that's true. Cloran cons are like really good. Okay, anyway, then let's get the MUALANI girl. Yes, Eva! I want Eva C6. Icy's chat can stay for wishing. Best of luck. Wait, you can stay for wishing. It's just like 2 pulls. Look. Wait. No, where is she? Where is she? Okay, but thank you for thank you for coming. Thank you for dropping by. Yeah, I have MUALANI guaranteed, so yippee! It's MUALANI.
Thank you for joining me, traveler. I'm MUALANI.
What? That was so bait. Making it seem like this is the MUALANI pulling session. No, it's just one MUALANI pull. Should I spend the rest? And okay, yeah, whatever. I won't get anything, so it and I don't need Aino constellations. Let's be real. Stringness. Okay, who cares? Or I need 11 more primos. Ah, you know what? I will just save. C1 right here. I mean, I totally wouldn't mind getting a very, very early C1 MUALANI. It's not like C1 MUALANI is extremely, extremely good. Surely. I mean, like it is. That's what I wanted to say. I don't know why I phrased it like that. C2 pretty solid. Time to wait. Yeah, I'm glad I stopped with the whale mindset. I don't think I have enough for level 90. Oops. No! That is so embarrassing. Hello, friend. What made you want to pull MUALANI? Just curious. Honestly, the final push was probably just her in the story. In the like unironically. Like, I really just liked her personality, but yeah, obviously she's also just very strong. And I like her speedrunning potential. Chaska now? No, sorry. I don't like Chaska that much. And I might get her on my alt account. There she is! Yippee! Yeah, also she's really fun to play. Like, she's probably my favorite Natlan character to play. Maybe my favorite character of all time to play. She plays like Gaming if Gaming wasn't cringe to play. And big number dopamine. Oh, yeah, by the way, Jamie just made a new MUALANI video. Yeah, we might watch that together because like I've seen like half of it. There were like a few takes that I think is just typical Jamie take, which is like bad chesting certain small parts of a kit or like small pros, which I get, but like it's not that big of a deal. I can talk about it when we start the video, but I really don't think that she scales that much better on good substats, because at the end of the day we have these optimized crit things, and the fact that she scales well on 4 subsets instead of 2 is better for like lower investment, but for high investment it doesn't really matter because you just end up re-rolling 2 crit subs anyway. Isn't it funny how Nathan starts and ends with MUALANI on the I can't read. Yeah, with MUALANI and ends with MUALANI on the banner. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Also, I'm getting stalked. Secret watcher in stream. Chaska Slender. I like Chaska. just because I don't pull some character doesn't mean I don't like them. I haven't watched it. Yeah, we can watch it on screen on stream. But anyway, got to go by. Good luck on your pulls. That's very sweet. Top slug. Bye bye. I'm trying MUALANI on friend's account. I don't know. I'm bot impressed. Not impressed. You're not impressed by MUALANI? Is that even possible? Can you not be impressed by MUALANI? C4. What if I get C6? Okay, remember when Aoife C6 used to like give him a new playstyle? But now it doesn't do anything. I like it's still good for his main playstyle, but it's like it was so much more fun. Remember what they took from us. Yeah, I have Sacrificial Jade R1. Oh, I also have Witsiv, but I think for now I will just go with Witsiv. I will just when I get tired of Witsiv, then I will switch. Actually, if you hit like if you consistently hit HP and damage percent, would it still be better than R1 Sac, or would it be worse? Like if we consider that it has like uptime issues, with it, I mean. I'm actually not sure how it works. Okay, y'all can look at my MUALANI pieces now. I have yeah, I have them saved. This is my this is my MUALANI feather. The crit is a bit lacking. It's a Jeff piece, but it's actually like it's so many substats. This is like two this is as much as like an additional HP substat. So like 4 HP subs effectively, and then 3 Yam subs, which is good. That's 7, and that's better than all of my other pieces. So like yeah, this is the best I have at the moment. But yeah, it's good. Then I also have 105 EM. This one's kind of mid. So I have to do something else. I think yeah, this one. But I will okay, I think I need a crit rate circlet. Yeah, I do, okay. Or like crit rate, yeah, fine, okay, Sacrificial Jade. Fine. No, what is this? Okay, my crit is a bit lacking, but okay, let's see. I just don't have any crit on my pieces. It just works like that. Okay, let's just take this one and then back to Witsiv. No. Sack Jade piece. That feather is proving Jamie's point right now. I mean, okay, yeah, I guess, but like, I'm going to still switch it. I think I don't think like the M falls off. I guess crit kind of also falls off. I think like if you have 300 EM, then HP and crit subs are like the main ones that you are aiming for. But like getting 300 EM isn't like easily said, so maybe he was onto something. Maybe he's right. Okay, fine. I will switch to my onset goblet and then search something that's better. I think I over... Oh, wow. Yeah, that's really nice. My EM is shit. What? I don't think... No! My EM... Ah, this... Oh, wait. No, if I switch this... And then... I switch to an EM... 10, 40... I don't know which one is the best one. Yeah. This one. Okay, okay. That's my best one, I think.
Ready to ride.
Okay, let's see.
Slippery ground here is perfect.
Chaska denies will repent for their sins. EM doesn't fall off. It's all your damage comes from vape. It does kinda, like after 300, it's like, it's just worse than HP and crit. But 300 is really hard to... I guess that it's not even that hard to get. But I guess like 400 EM is also fine. But yeah, I don't mean fall off in the sense that it's like crit rate, like where it's just a 0% increase. Obviously, it still does something, but it diminishes in that sense. You get your scroll 4-piece back. I don't know why it's HP, but... Yeah, this is all you need.
Vaping conditions.
Okay, time to play with 2 characters because MUALANI doesn't need a team. True. Carried by a Scorpia, just pull up. Wait, this is about...
Let's ride.
Ah!
Try and stop me.
No! No!
Amazing.
She's doing 77k already with bad talents.
Let's ride. Pyroclastic surge.
Damn. How did I just get interrupted? I thought MUALANI wasn't interruptible. Or like was barely interruptible. My back kinda hurts. Let's do this. What should I put on my Silali scroll? I agree with the Jamie harping on random parts of the kit though, but I just find it to be quirk of his content. Yeah, that's true. Like he did this for... The thing is he also does the opposite, which is more harmful. Like when he said that... when he said that... I don't know if anyone remembers, but he said that Gilona might not be an upgrade for Navia because she doesn't generate crystallizers. And that, like, I'm not sure if he said that, but like Geo Resonance also giving Resistance Shred, that's why Resistance Shred is the min. Okay. This is streamer gameplay. This is what happens when you start streaming. That's why... Okay, let's be real. This is why Flip can't play the game. Like, it's just because he's bad on stream. It does fall off because of Suko's Yam buff. The 480 Yam buff from Ritziv is generally worse than... Yeah, exactly. Like, everything after 300, 400 is, like, not good. It's like attack on a unit that already has like 2k attack. Except that like the formula actually diminishes, so it's not like it's not saturation, it's actual diminishing. Just HP if you use sucrose, that can still, like, depending on the weapon, and like as they said, like if you use Witziv, can still happen.
Let's ride. Light as a blazing sun. Try and stop me. I must protect my clients.
Um um okay, we should just put on a full team. I think this is getting a bit too embarrassing. Let's try the try-hard team
Let's get this over with.
with Sucrose on Instructor, because that's how you play her. Where's Sucrose? Okay, no, we can play VV Sucrose. We can do the illegal thing called playing VV on Sucrose. Everyone plays her new best set Instructor now. Okay, but like in these teams, in the not quite teams, can she just use the new set? Like, wouldn't she be a good set holder? Instructor? Yes. Like, I've seen multiple speedruns use Instructor because it's just very ass to play VV Sucrose, because the buff up time is very short and it doesn't carry on in multi-wave. What wings do you play? What's the wing meta? Maybe this. Sucrose dance reference. Book gameplay.
Bring it. Animal test 6308. Stand clear. Pyroclastic surge. Carving wave. Surf's up. I got this. What kind of guy falls behind?
Super. Do you not have free wings that new player gets? I do. Wait. Does it look better? Oh no, yeah, those were the release wings. I don't have these. And I don't have the PlayStation ones either. Why are they PlayStation locked? Who thought that that was funny? Stop giving me Favonius, please. I have too many. Okay, one more tiny temple. Eva! Okay, we got Eva. Now they are looking PS out of Genshin. True. Oh, PlayStation. Okay, that I'm don't mind me being a bit slow. Oh wait, she does get more crit rate. I completely forgot. And I'm only going to get the crit rate problem is only going to get worse. No. Wait, this is much better. Why didn't I use this in the first place? I'm just not that. I don't pay attention apparently. I know something isn't right when you only overcap 6% with Zack Jade. Actually my pieces don't have crit rate, so like 3 or like 4 of my pieces don't have crit rate, so it is actually no. It's you automatically overcap with Zack Jade, right? I forgot. Yeah, then it's not then it's completely impossible. Wait, is it? Okay. Oh, I still need does someone can I get does anyone is anyone online right now? Can I farm some stuff? Because I still haven't finished farming for bad streamers not prepared for MUALANI Ascension. Okay, I'm back and alive. Welcome alive. Nice to meet you. Welcome back and alive. What an odd name. It was Sack Jade, crit rate does nothing. Peak weapon. Why did they make it as a Neuvillette weapon and then a MUALANI weapon? Whose decision was that? The two character, the weapon, like I guess Nahida can also use the weapon, but she can't use the HP. And the HP is way more, which I don't actually like. I wish the EM was the same as their HP to make it like. I guess I would nerf it on Neuvillette, but I don't care about that. I just want it to work for other characters as well. I'm on a friend's account. Yeah, otherwise we are friends in gens. True. Yeah, true. We are friends. I'm online. Okay, I will join you in a second. Okay, I yapped so much I completely forgot what I wanted to do. I have MUALANI, I can't believe it. I used to hate her, by the way. Like, not hate, but like I used to be not interested in her. Hate is a strong word. Okay, I did call her ugly on 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 release. Or like not on release when she was initially shown, because I was like I was like, why is she not wearing anything? But then I feel like yeah, it does kind of make sense. Like her outfit makes sense. It just does. I don't know if I should hate her. Don't hate her. Don't hate her. It's a mistake. I'm still here. Okay. Day 1 MUALANI defender. Even when she wasn't out, her hair is so beautiful. Yeah, I just didn't understand her hair. I think that was my main problem. But I really like the hair now. Like it's just a cool hairstyle. And it's supposed to remind you of a seal. Hi chat. I should optimize her. Surely when I see the numbers, I will like her. Oh no. That's a bad sign. Ah. See, it's not that hard to get the bites. And people say she's hard to play.
Get behind me.
Her burst animation is so... Burst animation is so sick.
Off we go.
Okay, one more drop. We have to wait 3 minutes. I think if I do one more, then I can't crown. Actually, I don't know. Yeah, one more is fine. Also, they didn't change anything for the beta. Did anyone get disappointed by that? That they didn't revert the changes that they did, the massive nerfs. Okay, not that massive, but it was nerfs. They were definitely nerfs. For Flynn's and the Lauma. The Lauma. Do you all want like new versions of characters that already exist? Because I need 5-star Lisa. Like 5-star Lisa is like my biggest dream ever. Like imagine she's important in the story and she joins the Hexen Circle or something. I don't know. It's like it will respawn. I know how it works. We need to wait 1 minute anyway. I think I won 5. I feel like this would have been a good opportunity to release 5-star Bennett if he ever like, because I feel like with all of his lore, it would have been nice if he got a new 5-star form. Or what they could also do is like make skins give upgrades. That would be really cool. Like make free skins and then make the free equipped skins have upgrades. And then make an ugly skin for like, what's a character that I don't like? Sino. Make an ugly Sino skin and make the buff depend on the ugly skin. That would be so peak. Okay, no, I don't want Sino players to suffer. Lisa declined invitation to Hexen Circle. Yeah, that's true. But like, what if she's a witch? Like what if she, I don't know, rethinks her decisions? Lisa is so interesting. Yeah, I wish she got an event or something. I like that we got more lore.
This will brighten up like a blazing sun. Carving waves.
That's awkward. No one saw that. I can't wait to go back to Mondstadt. Yeah, the quest in Mondstadt actually, like, it did cook. It was a really fun quest. Give Venti a new form. For the Archons, I'm not sure if they are like, if they would do that, but maybe. Also, do you all think that the god of time, god of whatever, the like, I forgot what they are called, the ones that were shown in the trailer, that they are going to be like actually playable? I feel like if they do, then they won't have the elements. Surely they will have new elements.
Rise with the sun.
Aids. Yes. Oh. Oh! I forgot the reason I came here. It was to collect these. Yeah, they should have new ones if they do. There's so many ways you can expand on the elemental system that's already given. And I'm glad they are finally doing something with it after, like, here's melt, here's vape. Yeah, here's a melt and a vape carry. Here are characters that rely on you triggering reaction without actually doing anything to the reaction and the interactions with it. So yeah, that's a very nice positive. Like, literally, all Lauma does is buff blooms and create a new, like, interaction that blooms now create these things on the ground. And I think that's all it needed. Like, that's already like a cool change. And it's just fun. Like, if a future character needs these to be created, like, she only needs 3 per rotation. But what if a character needs more than that? It's kind of like Navia and Crystallize. Navi's interactions with Crystallize are fun. Which I don't. When people say that, yeah, no, she completely ignores the reaction. She kind of doesn't. Like, she doesn't care about the shield, but she still interacts with it as it is an object that's literally spawned on the ground. So she does interact with it. It's not like you trigger crystallize and do a bazillion damage. It's rather that you absorb the crystallized shards, and to me that's a big difference, if that makes sense. And that's why I like to play Navia, if that makes sense. I guess that's kind of a hot take. There's strict limits for those. Are there really? Can you only make 3 per rotations? But then how are the new characters going to work? Like, the other Dendro characters, I think they will do 2 per reaction. So 2 Lunar Blooms, 2 Electro. Navi actually does do something. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's my opinion as well. Why does she... What is that? It's such a cute animation. There's like only 3 max and it generates once every 2.5 seconds. So you can only have 3 on the ground, maximum. But you could generate more than 3 over 1 rotation. if there was someone that absorbed all of them. Like, I mean, Crystallize also can only have, like, 4 on field, I think. I forgot.
Need a surfboard?
Oh, I can play this boss now.
Off we go.
Oh, wait, how many do I still need?
The journey's over.
Did I just get hit?
Is this right?
How did they kill me this fast? She is very silly, yeah. Maybe new character will have its own counter with different UI. Maybe, yeah, that could be the case. I don't think they have sprite at all. You just have UI for llama stacks. Oh, yeah, true. True, yeah, yeah, true. I forgot about that. I don't know why, but I always think of the hydro balls. I forgot their names. They're the ones that Nuvilet absorbs when I think about the dew, but it doesn't work like that. That's kind of sad. I like I like the balls. I like the crystallized shards. Honestly, that's what makes a good character for me. If the character is actually interacts with their surroundings, like MUALANI, for example, the fact that she has to hit into opponents, like that's so fun. Or like Navia absorbing the shards, Novilette. Although Novilette is very boring to play. I'm considering getting Lauma, but I'm not sure if I will be able to get her. Yeah, Lauma kinda, like for now, she has... Her teams are interesting. They are like all very strong, but all use very old units, ancient units. Like, Hythem and Nilu. You can use Nuvilette, but let's be real. Unironic, I feel like the non-Novilette teams are just going to be better. On the ground. That happens. Okay. It's time to ascend MUALANI.
The most important part of going out to have fun is, well, going out. So just show up and I'll handle the rest.
My new villain is forever benched. Yeah, we all have that one character that we just don't play anymore. $68. I need more crit damage. Maybe this piece is the play now. Yeah, it is the play. Why is my HP so low? Or maybe because you always play on double hydro resonance.
There's a lot that goes into managing an orchard.
And I don't have her maxed out level wise.
Making sure the temperature is right.
The yapping.
You have to keep the fruit in a good mood.
I'm sorry. Did anyone keep up with that one tweet? Yeah, I actually use Twitter now. Did anyone keep up with the one tweet that was like, yeah, that's so disappointing from Genshin. They never indicate what the character is doing, what their job is, and like that's such bad design, and there's no hinting at that. And then people just respond like specifically for Natlan. They didn't say it about it was just Natlan, why Natlan designs failed, and then people just started making people just started making these very I reposted a bunch of them like Shilonen with like with like a blacksmith like ugly thing, and then I need to search it, but I reposted the best ones. That was really funny. I sort of get it, but like let's be real, Moalani does look like a guide. Like I don't know. I think she's her design is very fitting. Like the only way to improve her design, like as an indication, is to literally like say that, oh, I'm a guide. Not me revealing my Twitter.
Ever tried chasing waves
What the?
before? You wanna try? Well, come on, no time like the present.
Excuse me?
Closest beach.
What was that? Must have been the wind. Why is that trending? Okay, I hope no one saw that. Ew. Why would something like that be trending? Get it off. This is the best one. Hello, I'm unemployed. Yeah, why does Ito look like that? Help me find the traveler. I travel and stuff.
You can only do so much
And
on
this
your own,
one.
but
Hello, I'm an architect.
possible.
with the diamond. Yeah, this is just odd. I thought those were very funny. Saw what? Don't worry about it. Okay, now look at this damage. Stop! Don't attack, please. I want to see my damage. Oh no! Okay, 154. I don't have a Witiv though. No! It got into water, so I couldn't vape. You didn't show us anything? Huh? Oh! I'm sorry. Okay, fine, I will show it again. Here. Sorry, I was streaming Genshin and not my second. I thought I was streaming my second stream. Yeah. These ones. Hello, I'm unemployed. Help me find the traveler. Okay, this is true. This is a bit of a misconception. I wasn't an
Going out.
architect. Like I did I forgot what the name is. Like where you just work for free somewhere to collect experience. And I did that at an architect's office, and yeah, it was like it's just rich people basically that like are like designers. Like that's how you can think about them. Like obviously if they only do the outside of homes, they are like more practical. But there's also a job that's specifically it has to do something with static. I forgot the name of that, but yeah, there's a job for that. So not really the job for an architect either. Architect is just the construction of the outside building, and then there's another. I don't know how it's called in English, but yay! I did so much damage. Okay, sorry, I have to leave and try the Stygian Onslaught. And my mic stop dropping. I don't have anything mic dropping to say. Ugh. I'm not sure if I can make it. I mean, it's. Should I play Petra on Shilonen? Maybe. I'm not sure. Yeah, architect is the one. Yeah, that's why I said the outside of the building. Like the baseline. And then in an architect would, or like that's how it would be called in German. It's like how the one that's supposed to help with the furnitures. Can't wait for Bloom Abyss. I can wait. I don't want Bloom Abyss. Actually, yeah, no. No, Bloom Abyss is fine. I just don't want the Bloom Shill boss. Because it sounds ass. Or like not. Yeah, interior design. I guess the English one is way more accurate than in German because it's a designer. Should I try? I don't have Marika signatures at all. I don't think it's possible with Marika without a signature, without Jansan C6. Like it's so cooked. How am I how am I even going to do this? And then Kinnick also doesn't work. I don't know why, but like I can't make Kinnick. I can't make it work. I should try, I guess. Wait, I need Jill only here. Wait, okay, then fine, we can play Kazuha. And then Pyro main character. Shilonen and Sucrose. Okay, let's just do instruct the Pyro main character. I wonder where Chaska is when you need her. Devour. I'm not pulling Chaska. Professional rage bait. I'm joking. We made Bennett. We took all of Bennett's artifacts. I'm sorry, Bennett. I need too many Favonias. This is a Jeff moment. Wait, no, I have pipe. I don't think the others are going to work anyway. I just want to see the damage, so. Who are you the most excited for in Not Cry? Probably Alice. And Nefer. And Nicole. Oh wait, no, that was the... We're supposed to do sucrose first. Why does PMC apply no... What? Oh wait, it stopped because I didn't have burst. That was a bit embarrassing. No, that's a bit awkward to play. It's fine. What? Shilonen didn't get her skill to work. Come on, get your best. Or should I funnel it into PMC so he can burst at the start? But then I can run more. Ah, it's fine. Why does she... Truly amazing fun game mode. Truly. Do I really need oh, we can stay. Okay. We're not doing this with... We are not doing this with PMC. PMC, PMO, I don't care. We're playing Mavrika. Instructor Mavrika. It's the correct way to play her. Actually, no, should I play Scroll and then Shilon Instructor? It's probably the play. No, I need to... Ugh. I hate equipping. I am. I meant defense. I'm actually good at the game. It's just circumstances. This is all fake news. Okay. Let's try again.
Stand clear.
Okay, but that feels much better. I forgot to check the group chat. No, am I getting... But you are not supposed to watch this. Subao, this is not even helping.
Absorption test. Rise with the sun. Carving wave.
I forgot to press. That's fine.
Amazing.
Okay, see, that's much better. Can it not spin? Like, is spinning required for this boss? Does it always spin?
Wrath from the skies. Stand clear. Surf's up. Count my lucky day. Go! Absorption test. Light it up. Pyroclastic surge. No one fights alone.
Okay, this is my first time playing MUALANI. She's harder to play than like she isn't. She needs a bit of optimizing. Have some respect. No MUALANI player was born a MUALANI player. Against cactus, you... Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm not struggling with the cactus. That's why I want to play this. Like, I'm mainly struggling with this boss.
Animal test 60. Wrath from the skies.
But everyone has their C6 Skug against this game mode. I think your damage needs to be more consistent to beat Turtle. Why are you... James, why are you telling me anything? You haven't even cleared it. What do you mean by consistent damage?
Absorption test. Burn it down. Let's ride. Amazing.
Where are you pulling these numbers from, James?
Animal test 60. Light of the blazing sun.
The damage is just... Subao!
I've got this. Absorption test. Wrath from the skies.
Is she not crowned? Yes, she's not yet.
What kind of guy falls behind?
Again. I'm starting to get the hang of it, okay? Don't be mean.
Need a surfboard? Animal test 60. Light it up. Rise. Let's ride.
And then I should switch to Sac, but my Sac Jade is R1. Because with Witsiv, on the downtime I do 250k on each hit. Like, this is... My MUALANI is at no cost. Okay, you know what? You know who can help? Jamie. I will just watch it because Jamie batch tested the part where it's like she works in low cost, so I'm pretty sure that he's going to show the MUALANI clear with like no investment. No vertical investment, I mean.
MUALANI. One of them, Hydro Tulpa, is immune to Hydro, and the other one, the Secret Source Automaton, pretty much requires you to be playing a cryo DPS. But yeah, I'd highly recommend checking out some of our community's videos. For example, Penguin just uploaded a video a few days ago clearing all 3 bosses with their MUALANI. Tortoise, quite difficult, but a lot of people have been doing that. And the Cactus, I actually got pretty close to this, but yeah, Penguin uploaded a video. And if you didn't know, the Cactus boss doesn't technically require Electro Charge, as long as your Hydro or Electro DPS can dish out enough damage. As you can see what they're doing with their MUALANI here, very crazy. And then once you break the shield like this, you just get insane amount of absorbed damage there. Like I said, I was so close to being able to do it with my MUALANI as well. Maybe I would have been able to get it with a few more retries, but I ended up just using Neuvillette instead. But MUALANI damage is incredible. And this is crazy because Stygian Onslaught is designed to favor specific teams. So you'd be lucky if out of 2 seasons, even one boss your favorite DPS could do, let alone it being possible to do 4 out of 6. Now, having said all that, how relevant
Gems, yeah. Gems, I can clear D5. I'm not that bad. I mean, I can also clear... I can clear D5 very easily with MUALANI, I'm pretty sure. We can try D5.
Absorption test. Carving waves. Bring it. Animal test 60. Burn it down. Light up the blazing sun. I must protect my clones. Rise with the sun. Wrath from the sky. Carving waves. No one fights alone.
Your MUALANI was barely able to? How? You have Gelon in signature. Okay. 1000 miles there. What is this boss? Who designed this?
Light it up. Light up the blazing sun.
Okay, we got an attack bow. Okay, I guess that's something that frustrates me. She has the issue of Neuvillette apparently, where if you do it too fast, you don't get it. I think I had this multiple times with MUALANI, that like I was about to get the third stack, or like basically had it, and then like it still wouldn't count. Sword nothing. No, we wasted with it. What are you supposed to do when it spins? Like, it's going to hit you, no matter what. Because you have to crash into it. What? No, she don't, I guess. Why am I use Shilonen's ult? But that's the waste of time. It's fine. It's just a bit of clunk that we need to get used to. Wrath from the sky. Wrath from the sky. Like, look what happens. No hydro. You know E. True. Hi. Hello. We're just missing a yellow element. Oh wait, her burst is damage. It's okay. I misplayed a few times, so that way you know also we get the heals. But like that still eats into your uptime. I think the best way to do it would be like bursting at the end of the... Like bursting when the rotation ends. But that's one more switch and I guess it's kind of annoying. It's okay. So Chloe, true. Oh, see? Okay, that's what happens. That's what happened. I'm never listening to James. Oh no. Okay, I would have made it this try. We made it this try. We truly made it this try. That's I think 10 retries is where I draw my limit. It would be a lot easier if my MUALANI was more invested. We can do it again with MUALANI when she's level 90 and ground and burst ground and stuff. That would be a lot less cringe. And we can just look and peek. Oh no. Didn't want to kill it. If you burst it, you might just waste Witsiv, which is annoying. Yeah, I mean, that's like... Yeah, that's another reason why I don't... Like, there's no place for Jelonen's burst in the rotation. If you do it at the start, then you lose... You need to reapply Hydro. That's... Yeah, yeah. But, so, you can't. If you do it mid-rotation, you lose uptime. I like how fast her rotation is, though. Like, it's really fast. Okay, should we watch the rest? Does anyone want to watch the rest of the Jamie video? See what else he has to say? Or like, Should we restart the video entirely and then watch it from the beginning? Oh, it's half an hour long. Seriously? Peak Patrol. Yeah, Peak Patrol is really good for MUALANI. Silali might be a luxury but provides utility. I don't think Silali is a luxury. Okay, she is in the luxury in the sense that she enables the very high cost team, but in that high cost team she's not a luxury. She is needed for the team to function. Isn't Jamie the guy who shills Nubilet? He used to, but I think he himself realized that Nubilet is not that
Need a surfboard?
guy anymore. Need a surfboard?
Bring it. Absorption test. Rise with the sun. Wrath from the sky. Carving waves. Check this out. Best of luck.
She's peak. Oh. How did your pulls go? We didn't do many. I just pulled her and then, like, I already had guaranteed and I was at 75 pity, so there wasn't much that could have gone wrong. I guess we pulled more and got nothing. But my Aoife is c5, so I think I'm going for c6 and then I play c6 Aoife, I guess. Okay, something that confuses me is that her baseline, like this, it sometimes doesn't have a sound effect. Like in general, sometimes the bite just doesn't have a sound effect. People are somehow gonna say Nvidia is better than Flint's. that does sound realistic. If I don't get C1, I'm gonna PMO. Okay, interesting. I will just do a pull. Isn't Flint's low-key a flop? You couldn't be further from the truth. He's really strong. Yes, the nerfs were like made Veressa better than him, but he was clearly better than Veressa before the nerfs. So like, yeah, and he's only getting better from now. Watch Bina be EM Farina? I hope not. Because if you are Farina, then you have some kind of cringy condition that needs to be fixed with constellations. I just hope that she does her stuff without having a condition. Like, make her buffs niche, I guess, which is fine by making them reaction buffs, but then make her universal, as in not restricted to only not cry characters. Does anyone have another idea? Something. I guess HSR, because like I can try to clear in the HSR endgame modes and play a bit with high silence.
Off we go.
Watch YouTube would be the Jamie video and or like other videos if you aren't interested in the Jamie one.
Animal test 60.
I think we could beat Stygian in co-op because
Carving waves.
we have an R1 Chaska in our
Need a surfboard?
repertoire. What is this stupid ass statement? I don't know, Versa would be better either way because she isn't tied to Inefa or Aino. She's tied to C6 Janssen and Chevy C6. So yeah, I don't think that there's a difference.
Need a surfboard?
Janssen, Versa is in general only a top 3 if she has all the pieces, which many people don't have.
Off we go. Rev the engines.
To be fair, like Janssen C6 isn't as bad as Chevy C6 or like just in general. Getting Janssen to C0 and then C2 and then like that's more important, but C6 Janssen is still important. You can still do some Farina Genuine stuff. Yeah, but then you have to play Farina and Genuine. Like, wow, you either get to play an expensive team that costs C6 4 stars, or you get to play an expensive team that costs C0 5 stars, or potentially C2 Genuine and C2 Farina, which is even more expensive. Infinity Stones, ah. Yeah, and Versa also wants her Sig.
Off we go.
Her free-to-play options aren't that great.
Bring it. Rise with the sun.
I think some people misinterpret the strength of signatures because like if they pull a Clorand and release a really strong weapon for free-to-play players, then like the signature is going to get worse. And with many quote-unquote strong signatures, it's just because it has no free-to-play alternative. But technically all the current Fontaine and Natlan weapons all have similar stats. Juska's weapon isn't insanely above Fontaine weapons. It's just really strong because Juska doesn't have... Okay, she has Aqua, that's true, but Aqua is also a 5-star weapon. And Aqua doesn't...
Need a surfboard?
Aqua only provides 20% damage as a passive, that's it.
Need a surfboard?
How much worse is Codex Versa compared to... I don't think you have to switch. I think that the difference is like literally preference. If you don't like overcapping on crit rate, which I personally don't, just farm the new set. But I don't think it's worth it to farm the new set unless you have signature or like crit rate weapons in general. Like you have to use it as prayers. I don't know. Then it would be worth it to farm the new set.
Need a surfboard?
You can like check it on Akasha. There will always be Codex Versa, even with the signature actually. Just a second. I didn't farm Versa set because I don't care about Skirk. Yeah, that's also true. Like the other set is just dead. But yeah, if it's strong boxable, I would rather strong box the new set, to be fair. But then you have to consider that Obsidian is also best in slot for like Mavrika, who's the best carry in the game at the moment. So like it would be more efficient. But yeah, if you have Signature, which has crit rate main stat, then this is clearly better. But here's an Obsidian build, which probably barely has crit rate. Actually, no, it has a decent amount of crit rate. And then Witzith is a lot of Obsidian. Still, no, it's not Obsidian. Okay, okay, if you have Atlas, if you have to use Atlas for some reason, then Obsidian is better than the new set. But I'm surprised by these results. I thought, like, last time I looked at it, it was a half split on Witzith. But yeah, in Hyper Carry it should... Is it? Yeah. No. What? Okay. The new set dominates, unless it's this Skyward Atlas. Then, for some reason, I don't get it. Oh, it's because... Is it? I don't know. Why does it diminish? Because of Farina. Yeah, because of Farina, that's it. Farina provides a lot of damage percent. And oh yeah, it's genuine. Why do they assume genuine signature? That's so random to assume. Who has their weapon? They might as well assume genuine C2 and Farina C2. Lost at 120 ER. True, but that's just that doesn't have to say anything, to be fair. Like it's not harder to get these don't provide energy recharge. That's just because less people have Obsidian, like less people have the new set than people have the other set, so more energy recharge thresholds is possible with higher quality builds, if that makes sense. Because Genuine's mid without it too. Genuine is mid without C2 and R1. Like if they want to make her not mid, then just go all in. Did it just miss? It's okay. Geil. Genuine was just a thought experiment. Like, I think maybe we will get I guess the biggest problem is that genuine enabling plunge is kind of shit. Like, I guess that's the biggest thing. Like, right now it's completely useless that she enables plunge. It doesn't do anything. But if we ever got a character, okay, other than Diluc, like it makes Diluc viable as a carry, but other than that, it doesn't have any use case. So if there was a character that actually could use that as a pro, then for that character, even C0 Janyul would be really strong. But that's just not the case right now. So the things that Janyul provide at C0 is her flat damage buff and Farina Fanfare. But compare that to Escoffier, who does Resurrect damage and Fanfare. So yeah. Outside of the Fanfare, that's the only thing he does. It's like Baiju only applying Denjo. Like, that's his entire job. Oh, sorry, I mentioned that Gisela, the Jasler. You're not supposed to say that in here. Okay, let's... What one? What? Can you guys decide? We need one more voter. It's like the... Oh no, I'm going to spoiler, but... Okay, people who haven't watched Squid Game, don't listen. But it's the... don't listen for 5 seconds. It's the... At the end of the voting with one where they like vote X and like it's a tie. And then like... Kinda... It reminded me of that. In the third... No, second season. Hello. To be fair, genuine main's benefit is allowing you to plunge, and they haven't really added every... Yeah, that's exactly what I just said. That is what it boils down to. Like, it used to enable gaming combos because of Farina applying Hydro. Okay, which she doesn't, but one of the main reasons I used to downplay gaming Zhanyu and Farina, if you didn't know, is that we just voted Stitch. Wait, it's tied again. Oh, because someone voted single target Stitch. Okay, we will just watch YouTube. Anyway. Oh no, I don't want to reveal my YouTube for you page. That sounds a bit cringe. Okay, what do you all want to watch? Should we continue watching the Jamie video? Another poll. Sorry for all the polls. Why should you watch on YouTube? Jamie video.
The most important part of going out to have fun
Something else.
going out. So just show up and I'll handle the rest.
Girona more for gaming. That's very fair. Zhanyu is only better if you do like PV and kind of TTDS, but not really. But yeah, you need to scuff your Zhanyu for her to sheet higher than Shitlon, or like not really higher, but like I think at the baseline they are too similar to be like, oh yeah, Zhanyu is better. Like I just think they are like basically the same slot. But yeah, if you want Zhanyu to be definitely better, then you need to scuff her off. And that's cringe, and no one likes that. Did I just bounce on the mushroom? Amazing. Would MUALANI be the strongest? She would be the strongest carry if she survived beta. Imagine that. Like she still survived beta in a way because like she's still very, very strong. She's the second best carry in my opinion. But like imagine her base version 0 survived. She would literally be stronger than Marika. Then go ahead and flop what's stopping you, Ash. Zhanyu was so overhyped. I blame Flip for all the Zhanyu hype. No, MUALANI. Your color. MUALANI is... Oh, she looks so cute. Like, look at the smile on her face. Lenny Lunette based. True. That would probably mean they would make Marika even stronger. Maybe. I guess, yeah, Marika was supposed to be like the Archon and the strongest character and whatever. Yes. Why did Natlan have to be so power creepy? But it's not like Fontaine didn't. Like, I'm sorry, but Butterfly isn't here anymore, right? Okay, Fontaine was the introduction of like big ass power creep with Linny, C0 Linny. That was the mark where everything went to shit. And that's also probably where they introduced Shilling. I'm not sure if they did. I forgot. But I'm pretty sure they did.
Ever tried chasing waves before? You want to try? Well, come on, no time like the present. I'll help you find the closest beach.
Okay, we watched the MUALANI video with my commentary.
I can show it. Also with Xiangling this time, maybe I'll use Instructor. Xiangling, you can do basically the exact same thing.
Okay, to summarize what he said at the beginning, MUALANI is strong because her team is very cheap. She doesn't need, like, she's not reliant on C6 Yansan and other C0 5 stars necessarily. She's reliant on C0 Shidon, but otherwise she's very flexible. And like can use C0 Sucrose, which is a big pro. Like C0 4-star, like that's crazy. And then other than that, like the substats that she basically likes 4 different substats, and all of them are pretty strong in power. So like she gains more from substats than other characters, the higher the substat count. I think that's what he meant to say. Then in Stygian, she dominated 4 fights out of 6, which I'm not too sure about because like what was last time was the cryo shit. She didn't did she even dominate the what else was it? Tulpa? Wait, no way. It was Tulpa, the thing that. How is it 4 out of 6? What? I need to check.
Have been clearing with their C0 Molanis. And not just that, they've actually been clearing 4 out of the 6 bosses, which is insane. And
4 out of 6, but that's not true. And she can clear the cryo boss, and she can clear Papilla, so that's already 3 out of 6. Huh? She cleared currently 3 plus lava. She can clear all 3. How does she clear Papilla? How does that work?
Ever tried chasing waves before? You want to try? Well, come on, no time like the present. I'll help you find the
actually been clearing 4 out of the 6 bosses, which is insane.
Is it just PMC doing the heavy lifting?
Pretty much requires you to be playing a cryo DPS. But yeah, I'd highly recommend checking out some of our community's videos. For example, Penguin just uploaded a video a few days ago clearing all 3 bosses with their Mulani. Tortoise quite difficult, but a lot of people have been doing that. And the Cactus, I actually got pretty close to this, but yeah, Penguin uploaded a video. And if you didn't know, the cactus boss doesn't technically
This
require
video
electro
we
charge,
can watch
as long as your
dot.
hydro or electro
Almost clear
DPS
Papilla with
can dish
Naida
out enough
PMC.
damage.
On-field
As you can
Marv
see what
to
they're
break the
doing
shield,
with
I
their
think.
Mualani
I
here,
see.
very crazy. And then once you break the shield like this, you just get insane amount of absorbed damage there. Like I said, I was so close to being able to do it with my Mualani as well. Maybe I would have been able to get it with a few more retries, but I ended up just using Nuvilet instead. But Mualani's damage is incredible. And this is crazy because Station Onslaught is designed to favor specific teams. So you'd be lucky if out of 2 seasons, even one boss your favorite DPS could do, let alone it being possible to do 4 out of 6. Now, having said all that,
it's a
how
bit
relevant...
scam because like you do still need to adjust the team. You can't just brute force. I guess with the thing one, the lava dragon, you could use Collei, who's free, I think, and Collei could still make it.
Ever tried chasing
But
before?
I don't know, you still have to warp the team.
Come on, no time like the present.
I'm not sure how if Papilla can just be done with Mavrika and PMC or like Mavrika or PMC solo. Can she really do it? Like, I know Mavrika with Auroran can do it, but Auroran like adds to the hits. Hear me out, Mualani is better than Mavrika because she's not reliant on Nadlan characters on her team. Could be upgraded in future, especially having cheap Foster in her team. Yeah, but like that's future balling. Like that's not the currently the case. Like currently, even this team is unironically like very, very strong. It's not as strong as Mualani, but like she is still reliant on C0 Gilonen. Like if you don't have Gilonen, then it all goes to Mualani. Colombina Cope. I don't think. I think Mualani. I think Colombina is going to apply Hydro, so I don't think it's going to work.
Is it to you if very good players can do dire difficulty with their Mualanis? Maybe not that relevant, maybe it is, I don't know. But I would say even if you're much more casual than this, if good players can do that, then just lower your standards a bit. Maybe that means you could do Menacing or Fearless and get those rewards, or even just Abyss 12 with her. The point is that she's very strong. Last reason why she's very strong, and this will tie into the investment priorities later, is that she is a top tier character at all investment levels. And this is quite crazy because a lot of characters, they either scale well at super high investment, or maybe they fall off at lower investment, or if they fall off at higher investment. And whether you're a C0 player with 4-star weapons, or you get a C1 or signature, or whether you get C2s and Dolphin,
I don't actually think that's a pro. Like, it is a pro, but it's not like significantly different to I guess just because like she's the strongest in that sense, but I still feel like yeah, you know what, maybe like because she's reliant on oh yeah, that's what I wanted to say, I forgot. I think Kinnick, Chaska not necessarily, but Kinnick, Vressa, Mavrika, Skug. These 4 are all really good at very low cost. Not necessarily 4-star only, but like low cost. Like just 2 or 3, 5. Actually, Skug automatically has a 4 cost team. But if we like let's just say 4 cost, then I would say hello. Then I would say that is not necessarily so much better than like they are just balanced around that level, And that's why they are still all great at lower constellations. To bet that your character is the best and you invested in them, I don't know. It's semi.
Ever tried chasing waves before? You wanna try? Well, come on, no time like the present.
Hear me out, MUALANI is better than Wait, I already read that. I don't get that, Farron. What do you mean by that? MUALANI is not out on my server yet. Yeah, she's only out on Europe. So that's that. I will just
Even
continue
if
the
you're
video.
full whale, MUALANI is basically always one of the top options.
And Asia,
at
of
those
course.
levels. Now, hopefully that wasn't too long. I do want to get into some basics on how to play her, especially now that we have her rerun. It's been a long while since her first banner, and I think her playstyle has been developed over that time. At launch, I'm sure there were people playing weird teammates, playing a weird playstyle, but let me just quickly go over like an established playstyle and tips on how to do it. So yeah, as you guys know, MUALANI is a vape DPS, which means you want to apply pyro and then you use her and then you do a lot of hyper carry damage. That's the basics, I'm sure you know that. But also it's very important to know, because MUALANI is a hyper carry, it does mean before you deal damage, you do want to maximize the amount of buffs that you're giving her. And I think this is something that maybe you might not have been doing on her release. So for example, a team like this, whether you're playing Pyro Traveler or Xiangling or whoever, you do want to make sure pretty much all three of her teammates have some sort of buffing artifact set. You can see here I've got the scrolls set on Chilonen, which means I just need to do a reaction with my character to activate scrolls. You can also give
ready for
scrolls
it.
to
I've been
non-Natlan
building and
characters. It will
saving
just be
for
12%
ages.
damage.
I hope
instead
you
of
get her.
40%. The VV set on Sucrose is very nice. And then another option you can use is Archaic Petra, which we'll go over. If you don't want to use Archaic Petra, there is also Instructor. But those are like 4 artifact sets you can use on your supports.
VV Glaze.
There are also weapons.
Don't play
but
VV.
for the sake of this, I'm not really going to
Unless
use
it's
any
just
weapons.
one
Whatever you get, you want
wave.
to buff MUALANI as much as possible. Like I said, if she gains a lot from
Like Stygian,
artifact
but
substats,
yeah.
she's going to gain a lot from teammate buffs. So once you got that, it's just very important to know how to actually utilize those buffs. If you're using Archaic Petra, you want to try and pick up the shard. So the hardest bit is probably picking up the shard with the correct character.
Okay, we don't need to know how we pick up the shard. I think everyone knows how to do that.
Same thing. Or if you want to use something like Instructor, this requires your Pyro character to do a reaction. So for example, let me also change Sucrose into Kazuha, and then you do the exact same thing here. Very simple. Swirl with Kazuha, then Xiangling does a vape there, and then
Yeah, that's true. Kazuha does reapply, but I don't think that's big
The
enough
only difficult thing here
of a
is
pro.
making sure you actually have enough energy on
It
your
is
Xiangling.
like it's
So
just
if you
less
don't like
buffing.
Xiangling's energy, you could even use Moika instead.
Unless you have
Whatever you
C2
want, I
Kazuha, but
think
then
there's
you
so
need
many
to do
different
a
teams you can play
different
with
setup
MUALANI.
anyway, so...
Like I said, the most important thing is just making sure you stack as much buffs as possible. The only other basic thing to know is if you're playing in AoE, MUALANI actually builds up her stacks a lot faster. Single target is the exact same pace, but if you're in AoE, each enemy you surf next to will give you a stack instantly. So you apply your Hydro, do that, swirl, then you apply your Pyro, and you can see that even at C0 I'm getting some super fast stacks. Nice, big damage. So those are her normal attacks. She does
Okay,
have
that
the
was a
burst
bit,
as well.
like, that's something I disagree on, because it makes it seem like she... There might be a ghost in my room. Anyway.
The most important part of going
Yeah,
out
what
to
I...
have fun is, well, go
What I was going to say,
shut up and I'll handle the
so
rest.
basically, like, she does still lose damage by being an AoE, and Like, he did just only do
stacks.
2 normal attacks.
And you can see that
look at
even
this.
at C0, I'm getting some super fast stacks.
Because, and I can tell you why you only get 2 normal attacks. It's because you still have to waste some time hitting every target, which might be spread out. So, like, not to say that she's bad in AoE. I don't think she's bad in AoE, but like, both her damage like gets reduced a bit, and she does generate stacks faster technically, but it can also take longer to hit every single target. So it's not necessarily that she's better in AoE, it's that she's balanced in AoE. That makes sense. Like, she has a pro, but she also has a con. Or like, she has 1 pro and 2 cons. 1 pro is faster stack generation, and the
damage.
2 cons
So
are
those are her
the
normal
damage
attacks. She does have the
reduction
burst
and
as well. And the burst is basically
hitting every enemy.
just a stronger version of her normal attack. But it can take time away from your normal attacks. So at a very basic level, you can think of it as you either do 3 normal attacks on your MUALANI in her duration, or you can use 2 normal attacks and 1 burst. But one very basic tip I can give, if you do want to use her burst straight away, make sure to use her skill first, because that will activate the Obsidian Codex set, so it activates the crit rate, so you actually have your full crit rate. Whereas if you use the burst straight away,
okay, but 2 normal attacks and 1 burst sounds like no damage. You have 4 applications from your pyro unit. You can do 3 normal attacks and then burst if you can. I guess it depends. Like, I would rather do that with my recut than with PMC, but
probably gonna have to crit fish a bit. But yeah, very basic level.
I mean,
here.
I've been calking her with 3 normal attacks
pyro,
and 1
use
burst.
skill and then the burst. You will build up 1 stack, so you just only have to build up 2 stacks for your next skill. But yeah, that's something that you can do. Anyway, let's get into the.
I mean, the baseline combo is 1 normal attack and then 3 normal, like 1 uncharged normal attack and then 3 normal attacks. I feel like the combos weren't explained well.
Because I know a lot of people want to put on MUALANI's banner and they want to know what order.
To be fair, I don't do it just because I want to do the burst, and you can't do that with the burst.
Our general damage increases. It's a general order, not set in stone, and it's not just about calculations. It's also about the gameplay knowledge that I have learned and other MUALANI content creators that I also work with. And it's also important to know it's difficult to fully calc MUALANI due to multiple factors, like her getting stacks quicker in AoE than single target. That means it's hard to really calculate damage per second, as well as her having flexible setups. Because like we just showed, as long as you have pyro applied
11% to 33%, that's a big difference.
She doesn't really have one way of setting up. So this is an example team you can start out with. 3 characters, maybe a team like this, maybe a team like this, 3 characters, very strong teams, don't underestimate them. But the number 1 upgrade I think every MUALANI main would agree to is Shilonen being number 1. And I do have approximate damage increases here, but
I want MUALANI C1, but I don't want MUALANI C0.
This does not tell the full story at all. So pretty much, if you just got your MUALANI built, if you don't even have a signature weapon, say kind of using Widsith or a Battle Pass weapon, whatever, is the first upgrade getting a weapon on MUALANI? No, no one really agrees to that. What we pretty much all agree to is getting Shilonen here. What does Shilonen do? She's a Natlan character, which means she can
ideally get lucky forehead, or you already have saved up enough.
Full uptime coverage to your MUALANI, that is very important. And she also gives you res shred, 36% resistance shred, which is very nice as well. Also having a long duration, 15 seconds. And on top of that, if you use her burst, she can also heal. Now what's very interesting,
okay, but the other pro wasn't mentioned, the one that she stacks her burst, that she adds 1 stack to her burst. I think that's also relevant.
And on top of that, if you use her burst, she can also heal. Now what's very interesting to know is Shilonen, theoretically, purely in terms of numbers, if you calculate it, she might not actually be as big an upgrade as you think she would be. For example, if you just compared normal attacks versus Candice, it's a very small upgrade at best. And actually,
Yeah,
we
but
did end
that's not like you have to factor in the burst, which gets buffed. Huh?
up double checking with a bunch of other Mulani theory crafters just to check what numbers we got. Let me just quickly show you the damage with Shilonen plus a Pyro character with Archaic Petra, like Pyro Traveler.
Yeah, don't
So
just
attack
look
with
at the normal
Mulani.
attacks. She also has a burst.
Pick up the shard with your Pyro. 636k. Now let me just compare that with a Candace, also with scrolls, because if you didn't know Candace, you're getting 12% Hydro damage from scroll set. Plus with her burst, she gives you 20% normal attack elemental damage. Plus maybe another extra 20% from this talent here because you have a lot of HP on your Candace. Let's see what we're getting here. 575. But yeah, why is Candace so close to Shilonen in terms of purely damage? It's because you're trading Shilonen's 36% resistant shred and 40% damage for actually over 50% damage and Hydro Res. Because
Well,
when
what
you
about her
play
burst?
2 Hydros in the same team,
Kandaka
you're
doesn't buff
getting
the
a max
burst.
HP buff, which obviously...
Like literally, Shilonen buffs the burst an extra amount, and Kandaka's buffing is only to the burst. Why are we comparing the normal attacks?
Scales of HP. So that extra damage and that HP is not that much different from the resistance shred. Plus, I've also got Kachina here. Kachina, also being a Natlan Geo, is basically giving the same damage bonus from the scroll set as Shilonen. She just doesn't have the resistance shred. So it's pretty much consistently just going to be a bit weaker. However, that's just a 3 normal attack combo. If you mix in an elemental burst,
Okay, burst.
because Candace's buffs with her burst and her talent here are only for normal attacks, even though that is a big part of Mualani's damage, it's obviously not going to buff Mualani's burst like Shilonen buffs all of Mualani's
Shilonen buffs for Mualani
damage. So
Mualani's burst as well.
that means if you're mixing in a burst,
Because of the Night Soul
then
burst.
the difference between Shilonen and Candace does get bigger.
Why does
So
he not
anyway,
mention
I put
that?
this
That's
damage range here,
triggering me.
but still, if you look at some other things later on,
Like with the burst, buff, I'm sure it would be higher than 20%.
that could be higher damage. But why is Shilonen still number 1? As we said, Candace's biggest buff only applies to the normal attack, not the burst. Also, Candace cannot work with the Archaic Petra set. Since Shilonen is Geo, she allows one of your other teammates to use Archaic Petra, and that basically unlocks this very strong buff here. Also, I should probably change this. Candace doesn't necessarily require Xiangling, but she does require a lot of Pyro application in your team to fight against the extra Hydro app. Like I briefly mentioned earlier, one of the reasons why you don't care about Candace's constellations is because you get even more Hydro app from this C6. And all that does is just add extra damage from Candace, but you don't care about Candace's damage in this team, so you don't care about that constellation. But even at base, she does still apply quite a bit of Hydro. And what that means is you do want a lot of Pyro to fight against that, because every time you switch characters, Candace is reapplying Hydro. So you can see there with a basic setup,
Yeah,
I'm not
that's so
actually able
annoying.
to vape on Mualani. So it's a bit scuffed. There is workarounds, but it's a bit scuffed, whereas Shilonen doesn't have that scuff. Obviously, it also requires Candace to use her burst, whereas Shilonen and even Kachina, you just need to use their skills. Also Candace, because she requires a burst, she does require longer setups. Lastly, the utility. Shilonen and also Kachina as well do provide the crystallized shields for some defense, but Shilonen also heals. It is worth mentioning
If you
though,
aren't ready to give so much to Shark Girl, then don't.
Shilonen doesn't
Golden
heal on her
Mualani.
skill, she heals on her burst, which you don't really use unless you are taking a lot of damage. But she can heal, which is very important, because usually, I mean, as you can see, we don't actually have any survival parity. There is some of the
I don't like that
sure.
either.
Investment at all. He is pretty much agreeable.
The Shilonen should be higher than this.
is getting MUALANI C1. And what MUALANI C1 does, it might sound a bit complex, but it increases the damage of her
Sorry, I think the
first normal
stream
attack
just crashed.
by an extra 66% multiplier. And basically, this is kind of complicated, but you add all these things together for her default hit, and her normal talent is doing about like 70% damage. So 66% on top of that is basically double damage. So to sum it up, the C1 gives her first bite double damage. So you can see here for my friend CS's gameplay, hitting over 1 million now, and then it drops off, sure. But how big is that 1 million damage on your first hit? If you're doing 3 normal attacks, it's actually
that
a
C1
third
is so
damage,
nice.
so 30% extra damage. 30% extra team damage in a hyper carry team is actually a lot. And more front loaded damage as well, because concentrating all that extra damage into your first hit is massive front load. Very useful. Obviously, it's going to be the least useful in a massive HP fight like Dire Stygian Onslaught. But if you're fighting super low HP enemies like in the normal Abyss or whatever, doubling your damage enemies in one normal attack, this could even be double damage. So this is why this is the second priority, very strong. It is worth saying as well, you do get this out of combat benefit, which is that her surfing will last longer. Now this might be a big debate. I've put them both 3 to 4, which is, do you get MUALANI C2 or do you get her signature weapon Surfs Up? Her signature weapon gives you a lot of crit damage, it gives you a HP buff there as well, and it also buffs her normal attack damage by 12 times 4, so 48%. It is worth mentioning though, this buff here is only for the normal attack, it doesn't buff her burst, but we'll get to that later. Meanwhile, the C2 on the other hand, basically it gives her first bite an instant stack rather than having
Okay,
to
I
wait
really
for
like that she doesn't, like, there's no mention of Inefa MUALANI or Escoffier MUALANI because those aren't real teams and we are only focusing on Vape, and I think that's very good. That is very, that I do thank Jamie for that.
3 stacks before you do her enhanced normal. You can see it doesn't technically give a damage boost, but that instant stack is quite a big deal, and what it can do is you can go from being able to do like 3 normal attacks to 4, or even you can just use the burst there. But being able to skip the wind up for that first attack is quite a big deal, especially if you think about it. It means you're using up her buffs less quicker. Also, it could help if you just need to get more hits onto more enemies. And also, like that enemy there, that enemy is very annoying if you take too long to set up because it saps all your energy. So the damage increase that you get from C2, to keep it simple, I just added an extra buffed hit, and it's almost 30% damage increase versus C1. It also depends on whether you use that extra time to get in an extra burst or not. But yeah, in general, it's about as good as the C1, and it's just more front-loaded damage, so it's pretty valuable. However, you can make the argument that maybe you want to go for her signature weapon first, and a signature weapon varies from actually being a downgrade, because you can see that it's -11, to actually an even bigger upgrade than the C2.
Downgrade,
Why
that's
is that?
a scam.
Well, it's because even though her weapon's very good, there are very strong catalysts.
Okay. My mic dropped again. It always drops. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, the Witziv, he's just talking about like 1 hit. If basically no downtime on Witziv, that isn't a downgrade to MUALANI, or like that isn't an upgrade, or can even be a downgrade, but that's not true. You're always having downtime. We don't have a business anymore where you can like kill everything from MUALANI in like, maybe C2 can, but not C1. Just kill everything in one go. MUALANI is not getting 30 seconds in abysses anymore, is what I'm trying to say. People clear chambers in that time. I don't think anymore. Like HP inflation did kind of hurt MUALANI, even though she's still the GOAT. Like she does sometimes need 2 setups. She used to only need 1 setup, and if you do 2 setups, then Witsit doesn't do shit.
In the game, like the Widsith, there's also sacrificial jade from the battle pass if you have that. A lot of people do generally consider the Ring of Yash to be a bit of a noob trap, and as long as you have something like the Widsith, you pretty much just always use
Noob
that
trap?
instead, even if you
Excuse
don't
me?
maximize these buffs. One of the reasons why there's variation in the numbers.
Okay, no, the Witsith bad chest. 30% of your time. This is a speedrunner weapon because you're always getting. Let's be real. How is it called? The one like phenomenon where everything that goes wrong will go wrong. Oh, I disconnected again. Where everything goes on will go wrong. That one phenomenon, that's Witsith. It will always trigger the attack passive, then it doesn't have a passive. And that's only something that nukers, like overworld nukers and speedrunners are going to want. So I don't think Ring of Yakshay is a perfectly valid weapon. I do all my calcs with that weapon because Witsif is just a scam. Like, yes, you can speedrun chest with a Witsif, but just
is because the Widsith here is RNG.
like I'm fine with speedrun chesting. Like, really, I am. As long as there's no RNG involved. As if there's RNG involved, then the run is just less impressive to me because you can reset for RNG. So the more time you spend on the run, the more you can RNG fish. That's why I never respected crit fish runs, because it's not actual skill, it's just RNG. Just reset SMH. I did Witzith versus Dire run. It's not that bad. Sure. If you want to have a bad time, you can play Witzith. I also play Witzith on Veresa, but that's just because I don't have a better weapon. And I would rather have a signature. Like, I'm not saying that Witzith is bad even for casuals. I think it is good for casuals, but just don't expect. Like, I would have not included the minus 11% because it's not relevant. So you hate Chaska speedrunners? Maybe. No, I'm joking. I don't hate Chaska speedrunners. I don't think that her performance, like Witzif is a way bigger deal than Chaska's RNG. Like Chaska, yes, Chaska's damage is entirely RNG, and so is Gaming's. But I think that like Chaska still does damage when you don't melt her. It's fine. And it's also like, yeah. I think crit fishing for Chaska is like, or like melt fishing. It would rather be called melt fishing, I guess. Is like only something you can do at C6, because otherwise you would need multiple shots, and then if you have 4 shots, or actually I forgot how many shots Chaska at C0 does, but yeah, you aren't fishing all of these for melt. I guess I don't know. I also just don't see
one of these buffs every 30 seconds, an attack buff, which MUALANI obviously doesn't use because she scales off HP, a massive elemental damage buff, and an EM buff. And it's worth noting that these buffs buff all of MUALANI's damage, including her burst. So if we go to the calcs here, purely in terms of normal attacks, because Surf's Up does buff the normal attacks quite well, even if you get the buffs on Widsith, which you won't get.
This doesn't even factor in the downtime.
every single rotation, but Surf's Up does keep up very well. Even though those massive Wizard's buffs, it still makes it competitive. But it's when you don't get the Wizard's buff, which will be during its downtime, or if you get the attack buff, the signature then becomes a massive increase. But things do get a bit spicy if you are factoring in MUALANI's burst. Like for example here, I'm doing an 870k hit, but if I get the Wizard's buff and I'm using her burst, 1.1
That is
million.
correct. I guess that's an issue, which I don't really like with Surf's Up, is that it doesn't buff the burst, which also scales worse with like Shilonen as an upgrade. Yeah, I guess that's kind of cringe. Wait, doesn't MUALANI C4 also buff her burst more?
Ever tried
I need to
chasing
check.
waves before? You want to try? Well, come on, no time like the present. I'll help you find the closest beach.
Why is my internet so slow? Hurry up. MUALANI. Yeah, 75% damage. So, like, her constellations literally add on to that. So,
You can only do so much on your own, but with a group, anything's possible.
I don't know. By the way, the C6 icon is a scam because the C6 has the crit. This is the symbol for crit. So it would be a crit constellations. I think it used to be. It used to be 10% crit rate and 20% crit damage. Or like 10% crit rate, 10% crit damage or something. Like very low. And then they removed it, but they didn't remove the icon. So this is wrong. Because this is the sign of crit. But the constellation doesn't have anything to do with crit. And I think I'm the only one that probably ever noticed, but yeah.
Maybe just over 1 million if it's the EM buff and I'm oversaturated on buffs. That's enough to make the Wid Sith a pretty big increase in your combo damage over Surf's Up. But if you don't get the buff, then again, Wid Sith isn't really doing anything. There's also the Battle Pass weapon here, which also varies in damage, assuming you're able to build around its crit rate. But if you're able to keep MUALANI off field for a while, she gets a massive HP buff and a pretty decent EM buff. Just covering my notes here, when the percent difference is very close like this, it's close enough that it just depends on your builds and investment. I wouldn't take these numbers too seriously and say the Wid Sith buff is like 1 to 5% better here. They're pretty much the same thing. It's only the big differences here or here where that's not going to depend on your builds. But yeah, the 4-star weapons are a very big buff to her burst in gameplay, and that is significant. And that's one of the reasons why her signature weapon is not a priority. The fact that this only buffs her normal attack here, and you can hit so big with the burst, that is a bit of a disappointment. But regardless, this weapon here is pretty much unconditional, so she constantly has all these buffs, whereas the 4-star weapons have a bit of scuff and have a bit of inconsistency issues, which is less of an issue in short abyss fights, but it can be more of an issue in Stygian Onslaught or even this overworld running around, because in the overworld you can run around just like this with normal weapons, but if you're using Wid Sith, anytime you switch to MUALANI, she'll basically waste one of the buffs, so it's a bit of a hassle to use in overworld. Same thing with Sacrificial Jade, it requires her to be off field for a while, which would also be a bit of a hassle. For example, again, showing CS's dire attempts that I was watching the other day, she basically has to keep MUALANI off field for that, so you have to waste a bit of time on Pyro Traveler. And it would also mean, you know, after a while, look at that, 500k, and then yeah, she didn't vape there, but you're gonna lose a lot of damage regardless because the Sacrificial Jade's buffs fall off. You've heard my input, you can judge which one you prefer. It is worth mentioning that I guess technically the weapon banner and the character banners have different pities.
Good craftable weapon for
going for a character or even going for the 4 stars on the banner, for example.
None. I don't think Diluc has a good craftable weapon. Wait, let me check. If she gets Xianyun's healing, then you can play Tidal Shadow, but Like, that's really made. I guess it's still your best craftable option.
Example, maybe you want to get some Auroran constellations or Bennett constellations. Maybe that could sway you over getting C2. Either way, both of them are very nice upgrades. Now there's the last one, the 5th one here, which will take you to a 6 cost team, which is Peak Patrol, which is Shilonen's signature weapon. Now what Shilonen's signature weapon does here, Peak Patrol, is it will basically give your MUALANI a 25.6%
I will say
damage buff.
that it's a bit annoying to lose Favonius in Stygian Onslaught, unironically. Like, the particle, I just noticed it during my gameplay, it's actually the 3 particles are so nice. So it is a trade-off. It's not just getting 25.6% damage bonus, you're also losing the energy from Favonius, which is kind of sad.
Because you do 25.6 divided by 8 times 1000, that means she needs 3200 defense, which you'll easily get with this weapon because you get defense from here, you get defense from here, and Shilon doesn't really care about any other stuff. Now having said that, that is not a unique multiplier. Maybe you have Hydro damage bonus here, which is also the same multiplier. You'll have the Scrolls set, maybe you also have Archaic Petra. So Peak Patrol's buffs get saturated quite a lot. It'll range maybe about like 9%, maybe 10% if you have less saturation. So it's not that big of a buff, but again, this will buff all your team's damage because MUALANI is a very strong hyper carry. So a 9% team damage buff might still be worth it for you. What would you use if you don't have her weapon? You'd use Favonius Sword, which is obviously a very popular energy generating weapon. But it is worth mentioning, a lot of MUALANI teams, a lot of her teammates, you don't really care about their burst. Kazuha here in this team, you don't care about his burst. If you're using Sucrose, you don't care about his burst. Even if you're playing Mawika, you don't always care about her burst. It's only really characters like Xiangling where you really care about her burst. So getting that extra energy from Favonius Sword,
I guess, yeah,
might
that's true.
be quite
But
a big deal,
I was thinking
or
about
it
the
might be
energy for
barely anything.
MUALANI.
Even Xiangling, because you can vape off of just Guoba, it might not actually be that big of a deal getting the extra energy. The only consistent thing that Favonius weapons are for is for getting MUALANI's burst back, which you might not be
Oh, he
using every
literally says
rotation
that.
anyway. But regardless, it's not that big of a deal, which is why it goes after. I will say though, there are a lot of C0 gamers out there, especially ones doing the end game at C0. In that case, if you aren't going to get the cons, then getting MUALANI's weapon and Peak Patrol would be one of the first upgrades. That's why you will see a lot of gameplay out there of them getting Peak Patrol, just because they aren't getting constellations. But yeah, overall it's...
Okay, but what was that take? People who don't get constellations should get the signature weapons instead. Yeah, also Peak Patrol is just a very good, like, Peak Patrol also buffs Mavrika, so I would just... Peak Patrol is so nice. I like Peak Patrol. Like, it buffs your Mavrika, and it can potentially buff some other characters that use Shilonen. If you use Vressa Shilonen, which you shouldn't, but, wait. I forgot which characters use Shilonen in 2025. Mavrika and MUALANI for sure, but then... Oh, Alekino. It's a big deal for Alekino. Risley and Ganyu Melts, really nice for those. Navia too. Wait, that's so funny. That's actually so funny. Gilonen's signature is a bigger deal for the Fontaine cast than it is for the Natlan cast. Because Chaska and Kinnick don't care about Shilonen, Verasa uses Overload instead. And Skirk doesn't play Shilonen, but then Nuvilette uses Shilonen, Risley uses Shilonen, Navia uses Shilonen, Linny uses Shilonen, Alekino uses Shilonen. Claran could technically use Shilonen, but not really. She just uses Overload also. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
It's not that big of an upgrade. But now
I generally don't get cons, kind of avoid Farina C2 because it makes her boring. I don't think it does. I like the way that C2 Farina fell off. Because C2 Farina, like, in teams where you don't have a great healer, it does a lot, and in teams where you have a great healer and she's doing a big portion of the team's damage, it's also doing a lot. But if you have a good healer and she's a small portion of the team's damage, it doesn't do anything. Like, it barely does anything. And that's why we put C1 Farina over C2 Farina, because, for example, in Skirk teams, you don't care about Farina C2 that much. Because, like, you're already maxing out fanfare pretty quickly with Escoffier. Good craftable weapon for Dilo Gaming. Wow, gems. Or was the gaming relating to that question? That would be so funny. Okay, you know what? I will still... I don't think he has background music, so I will just use my own background
We're
music.
getting into the more optional stuff, and I've put some different routes here. So because MUALANI is such an insane hyper carry, at this point you can just keep getting constellations of hers. These are obviously insanely strong. The C6, for example, it makes it so every hit you do gets this C1 buff here. So one route is just keep getting more constellations on MUALANI. That is very efficient. However, I'm sure a lot of people would like to have some coverage.
Yeah, true.
Which is why I put Moika and
but
C1
Gaming would
here.
rather use
now, I would say
Genshin with constellations, like C2 R1. Like, I would rather get R1 Genshin for... like, if you are a Gaming main. Obviously, if you're not and you still want to invest into Gaming, then yeah, it would be worth it.
And I've been discussing this with a lot of other MUALANI players. Because Pyro Traveler and Xiangling are very strong and very popular, and because, as it turns out, it makes Moika not like a definitive upgrade in these teams, especially if you don't have Moika's signature weapon, like I wrote here. Moika is very comfortable though and very flexible. And there's basically two different ways you can play Moika with MUALANI. You can either keep her as a damage dealer with something like Codex. This is very nice if you're in like the Abyss with multi-wave enemies. You can maybe kill the first set of enemies with Moika's powerful burst with the Codex set, and then you deal damage with MUALANI after.
Yeah, that's true.
Or what a lot of people also do is just put Moika on supportive sets. Like, for example, you can put her on Scrolls, and then if you're going to put her on Scrolls, then you'll give Shilon in the Petra set or Instructor, or you can give Moika the Petra set herself or Instructor. But in those cases, you're lowering her damage a lot, meaning she is mostly there just for the pyro application at that point. But strictly damage-wise, she is not going to be a priority damage increase though, whereas a lot of these other things are guaranteed damage increases. It depends on how much you value her flexibility. Also, it's worth mentioning, especially
I do think that MUALANI players should get Malvika. Like, also C2 Malvika as a... C1 and C2 Malvika significantly increase her damage. And like, if we consider that vertically, I would rather get C1 and C2 Malvika for MUALANI than getting her C3. That sounds better. I'm not sure though, maybe C3 MUALANI.
Being the main endgame right now,
I'm not
is
sure.
If you did end up putting Moika and her weapon, then there's a good chance that you don't want to play her with your MUALANI. You'd rather play her as a DPS against another boss in another team. Strictly talking about MUALANI, you're better off investing more into MUALANI and playing more of a budget team. But Moika is definitely something you can get, especially with her pyro application. You don't need to use her burst at all. It's very comfortable. It follows you around. It will target
that's something so weird about, like, Mavrika's best in slot, but she's also so replaceable for Veressa as well. I don't think Veressa is bad without Mavrika. And she's not... Chaska is arguably also not bad without Mavrika. This video is not old, but the info is old. And for Daya, is Pyroter much better as Xiangling because her energy... That's true. But technically, you can use Grover, as he said in the video, but it's really cringe. because like it spins around. Like Grover's AoE is so small. It's not even funny. Like with PMC's AoE is also small, but you hug the enemy, so you hit it like you are guaranteed to hit it. But Grover's AoE is so small, and if it like moves a bit, then it will miss.
If I can just hit them.
That's why I don't like
So,
mentioning
even in the
Grover.
overworld, honestly, Marika's very comfortable.
But
You
yeah.
probably don't want to be playing Xiangling in the overworld. If you compare her Pyro app versus the Traveler, you basically need to hug enemies, which is not that big of a deal, especially because MUALANI is a surfer that you want to touch enemies anyway. So that isn't necessarily that big of a deal, but yeah, the lack of AoE on Traveler is definitely a downside. It's definitely a downside. And the last path here I did put, probably after you get Marika, would be getting Seat Lally for coverage. Now this is very optional because a lot of people would argue that Seat Lally doesn't really do anything unless you have like maybe her at C2. But on the other hand, it's not just about damage. Seat Lally gives you a shield, which can be very comfortable to play. Plus she also has cryo application, which could help you break some shields. That would depend. She applies Night Soul damage as well, which a lot of these bosses these days, you want a lot of Night Soul damage. Plus she's also a very universal character to have, especially if you already have Marika. But again, if you have those two, you might be playing them on another team. But I put it on optional anyway. Anyway, those are the vertical investment priorities I would recommend. There probably are some small other ones here or there. But for the most part, once you get all of these, you'd be entering Dolphin territory, but you have a very strong team and you can kind of just do anything at that point. And yeah, hopefully you guys found this video helpful. Whether you're pulling her from scratch today, maybe you're watching my channel for the first time, or maybe you're regular and you just want to see how to vertically invest in her. And yeah, have fun playing MUALANI, guys. She is actually a very fun character to play. If you're like me, like I said, there are people...
yeah, that's because of gems, that's because of her skill cooldown. I think that skill cooldown is longer than 15 seconds. Yeah, it's 18 seconds.
Who
And
paced out...
Marika doesn't have that, which is a flaw that he forgot to mention. Like also that Xiangling has a 20-second cooldown.
You just don't like at all. I will say, in my
Or like
opinion,
Goba doesn't,
I
but
do
Goba
think
also has
when people say
its issue
MUALANI
also.
is clunky, usually people say that because of like the tracking on her skill or her burst missing. However, a lot of that was patched and fixed.
That's true.
So I do think if you're saying that is the biggest issue with MUALANI, I think that is more of a self-report that you probably haven't really played MUALANI much since she came out.
True.
They say on the other hand, like
True.
what would make her more clunky would be setting up on the team. You know, picking up the right Petra shards, maybe swirling VV, maybe getting your scrolls buff on your Shilonen. I would say that is more of a fair argument, and that's probably something you will find more frustrating. Especially versus like big bosses like this, making sure Shilonen isn't picking up your Petra shard, that is definitely the clunky thing, I would say. But the point is a lot of that clunk is to do with her teammates and like the buffing sets. It doesn't actually make MUALANI directly clunky, which could mean that is something that could change in the future.
Surely.
But it also could mean if you aren't trying to make...
MUALANI will get zero. I'm sorry, MUALANI will get 0 buffs in Not Cry. She will be like Novillain, like be the best carry or like the best hydro carry of the nation and then get 0 buffs. I guess Novillain got buffs, but you know what I mean. Like
the supporting
he
buffs.
didn't
And if you
reappear
don't want to use stuff like
as a
Arcade
top
Petra,
3 carry.
then you basically won't notice much clunk at all. But yeah, good luck on your pulls, everyone. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Have fun.
Okay. I hope they won't kill MUALANI like people are thinking they are. Because then I just pulled MUALANI for nothing. Okay, I still like playing MUALANI, so it won't be a waste. MUALANI is with clunky playstyle and has not many battles with glitter moments in my eyes. What are glitter moments? Marika has a 15-second cooldown. How did I miss this? It's funny because like her burst has an 18-second cooldown for no reason. Like, okay, it would be like she would be a lot stronger if she had a 15-second cooldown on her burst, because like her rotations would allow for that. But I wish they nerfed her and then made her rotations shorter. That would be kind of cool. Glitter from the word star. What word star glitter? Sure. Okay, I see. Interesting. Okay, my conclusion on MUALANI is that she's the best of all time. 15-second cooldown Marika versus the Dream. Yes. We still don't have a 15-second consistent pyro application. Actually, no, Marika. But we don't have... Like, Zhangling, PMC, and Marika all don't synergize with 100% with 15-second rotations. Which are the main rotation. The thing is, MUALANI's... I guess that's more nuanced, but... The shorter the MUALANI rotation, the better your uptime gets on this. Because, like, it's complicated to explain, but the 20-second can overlap if your rotation is short enough. So, if you can fully stack it, her burst does a lot more damage than it would. That's also the strength of Gilonen, because she funnels one extra stack. But yeah, that's something for the second rotation onwards. I'd buy C1 if it did that. I wonder how they would... I guess they would just, after Marika casts her burst, reduce cooldown by 30 seconds. 30 seconds. 3 seconds. I guess that would be the constellation name. I do like Marika C1 as it is. It's a really good increase, specifically for... And I think I don't know if people realize this, but it's a really good increase for Veressa teams. Not so much for Kinnick teams and MUALANI teams, because sometimes you still don't want to burst in Marika in MUALANI teams. So she's just there for damage. No, she's just there for buffing and application. But in Veressa teams, you do want her to deal damage and be a sub DPS. Like, Veressa is Marika's best scenario. Same with Clorand. Veressa, why? Because she's the only... She takes the greatest advantage out of off-field Marika. Maybe Clorand, actually. Maybe Clorand, because, like, Veressa at the baseline has enough Night Soul Gen, but Clorand teams don't. So technically C1 Marika is bigger for Clorand teams. But specifically Marika C1 for Veressa, because she also gets a lot of buffs. In Veressa teams, she gets all the Overload Chevy buffs. And she... Like, her off-field skill hits don't really interfere with anything. And... The longer uptime, I don't know, it's just like she's a bigger portion of the team's damage. That's what it boils down to. She's an off-field. Her burst isn't the main source of her damage, like in Chaska teams, but she's also the off-field character. So the skill getting more hits does anyone understand what I mean? But yeah, I think C1 Marika is the biggest deal for Clorand, which now I'm starting to realize because I'm literally a Clorand main. But to be fair, the thing only matters if you have C0 Clorand. If you don't have C0 Clorand, Marika doing more damage doesn't matter if your Clorand happens to be C6, then it doesn't do much. It still helps with Night Soul Gen. So you can play Sarah, true. And don't have to play Nyan-san. But Nyan-san will still cheat better, so who cares? For me, she looks sweet, but playstyle, team option is nothing for me. Have fun with MUALANI and it's all good. True. Yeah, I don't think... I get so annoyed when people just think that MUALANI's issue, or like quote-unquote issues, are solved by playing her in the Nescofia teams. In a Nescofia team. Because like, you're just wheelchairing her. Wheelchairing? Is that even a word? Okay, anyway. We have streamed for long enough, I would say. Thank you all for coming. And yeah, I hope everyone is getting lucky on their pulls. Kinda just better uptime. Yeah, true, that's also. Marika is the best E damage in Overload, so it's good. Yeah, I think it's more so that, like, her... Yeah, actually, you're right. That's what I wanted to say. Maybe with Sidlali, MUALANI, like in Natla National, it's also very strong, because, like... But, like, you should only play Natla National with C2 Marika. Congrats on getting her. Thank you. People that think our issues are solved never played Witch. How hopeless it is. True. Okay, anyway. See you in the next one. Bye bye, everyone.